Hey, what's up, world? This is Lorian Mercado on the I Self Reflect podcast, founder and creator of iselfreflect.com, the first apparel brand that you wear for yourself. This podcast will be a platform where I share my stories, ideas, and different perspectives that I've observed from books, social medias, and from people watching. My ultimate goal with this is to fill people with positivity so people listening can go back into their lives and use it. And today I wanted to speak a little bit about our habits and our consciousness with that and different patterns that we set up for ourselves to excel and be successful in our lives. Some people feel like they're in a rut sometimes and just can't quite shake the feeling of what's wrong or how to change that perception. And if you want to check out the other podcast I did with my friend HB, Harvey Banks, on Cloud Conversations, we actually deep dive a little bit into this whole subject that I'm about to talk about. So go ahead and peep that out and let me know what you think. But today I want to talk about our environment. So within our habits and our environments, our daily structure, the way we live, when it comes to environment, I'm talking about your placement, your house, your routine that you go to, the place of work that you go to, and all those things encompass our environment. What things do you see every day that you think might affect your ability to think greater or think complacent? And I think most people, we're living in a complacent society to where we're not getting any new stimuli from anywhere else besides, well, you probably can think of a few, such as the news or through gossip, through friends and family, or some other stimulants, perhaps along that same route. And so most people will feel in a rut or stuck based on these premises because they have yet to change anything about it. And then before you know it, several years pass by, and then you might have that wake up experience and be like, what the fuck? Like, where'd all those years go? You know, what did I do with my life? Or what brought me to this position to where I'm at today? And so without realizing it, our environment, it actually controls our mind. You know, you see the same places and the objects daily, and you identify with everything that's in our outside world, where you wake up, where you go to work, the places we drive. So if we're seeing these patterns every day, it affects our brains. And so kind of like we shut off a little bit of our brains where we let the environment dictate and control us. You know, I can imagine that everyone takes the same route to work because it's the quickest way. You'll see the same employees and the same boss at the same job that you've had, or you wake up doing the same morning routine that you're so accustomed to doing it. But if you think of it or look at it this way, you know, we identify with everything that's in our outside world, you know, the jobs, the people we see, and the places we go to. And thus we kind of create more of that same feeling based on seeing that every day. So without knowing, we're kind of stuck in the same cycle pattern of, you know, feeling the same, seeing the same. And it kind of makes sense if you think about it. So if we're seeing everything the same, seeing all the same people, the same places, and all these different factors, if there's nothing in that blimp of your timeline that changes, you're probably going to wake up the next day doing the same conscious thing that you've always been doing, and you kind of get stuck in this cycle of not feeling just right on or turned on to life. And it's because you haven't given yourself the opportunity for that extra stimuli, you know. And if you think about it from that point of view, when we're living our lives in this one complete cycle where, you know, our environment takes control of our brain, we're actually living in the past. And, you know, if we're thinking it makes you think from past memories. You know, we create and feel the same way according to our brains, where it's kind of stuck in this cycle mode. And we plug ourselves into the same reality every day, and thus from that, we create the same consciousness from it. Now, think about that for a second, you know. We plug ourselves into the same reality every day, and thus creating the same consciousness from it. So if you're kind of feeling like you're in a rut, or you're just unhappy with something in your life, or you're just like, I don't know what's going on, You know, it's kind of the habitual patterns that we're putting ourselves into to keep us on the same consciousness level, you know. And so we're pretty much reproducing the same level of mind daily, you know. In quantum reality, we're inputting more of the quote same. So why should we expect something different? Repeating the same thing, expecting a different outcome is kind of insanity. I'm sure you've heard a quote similar to that. And that's kind of the same thing, you know. And so essentially your habitat, your environment becomes your daily habit. And so your life is becoming a reflection of your own habits. And it's kind of just what it's expected eventually. You know, to change our minds, we have to change our habits, our thinkings. And thus, after that, we grow and we have a new perception and self-awareness from there. And how many people have seen the movie The Groundhog's Day, where the gentleman is reliving the same different cycle in and out, and he's just like, what the fuck? So he tries all these different crazy stuff, and because he kind of just gives up in the middle of it and just like, oh, I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna learn this. And throughout the whole experiences, he decides to change the way he was living and his different mindset, and eventually breaks the cycle of life. So using that as an analogy, we're pretty much living in that same Groundhog's Day. The only difference is we're not fighting against the system of that. We must change our state of being and how we think, how we feel, how we create, and how we react. It's our personality, you know, that's kind of what encompasses up the individual's personality. And if you break down the word personality, there's person in there. You are that person. You are that personality. You know? So you must figure out who you want to be. Who do you want to create? What thoughts do you want to think? And, you know, some self-care tips like that is where meditation takes place, where you're able to become self-aware of your thoughts and your actions by taking a pause and a break in life to really evaluate where the system is really taking you based on your conscious decisions of your daily routines. So meditation is good for that because it makes you, you know, take a step back and be like, why am I doing what I'm doing? And is it something I really want to be doing? And so those are great tips to kind of figure out for yourself and see where you lie in your own spectrum of that, you know. And if you think about it, the subconscious mind is living in the past. It doesn't control or dictate you unless it's based on your conscious thoughts. But after a while, your conscious thoughts dissipates after a while if you're reliving the same reality every day. You know, you can't expect something different if you're doing that. So your subconscious mind is relying on that pattern to fulfill its needs for the present and the future, which is all this past thinking that sets you up there. And that's why you really need to figure out what you want to be doing, because your subconscious mind will drag you back into that flow because you've created this certain flow state of your mind. You've told it what it's already comfortable with, what it should expect. You know, if you get off work on Friday night and you're just envisioning already, like, hey, I'm going to watch my favorite show, or I'm going to hang out with some friends, or I'm going to go to this party or something like that. If you do that so much, your brain can condition to that's the norm. And then when you try to break those habits, you're going to feel some sort of pull the other way. Like, no, this is what we're, you know, accustomed to doing. So when you're in the works of trying to break those patterns, you're going to have to deal with your subconscious mind and fight against that, which is yourself, to be like, no, this is the new route I'm taking us, and this is the way we go. But it's kind of like you have to train a kid, essentially, of what's right and what's wrong. You have to take control of your own life and say, this is what's going to be beneficial for me now, you know. And you're allowed to do whatever you want to do. You can be the same person every day if you'd like, and you can be a different person from here on out if you choose to. You know, you can pivot so many different directions. We have that free will, and it's a beautiful thing. The thing is, a lot of people just don't use it. They forget that they're not in control, that they're giving this free willpower towards to somebody else to decide, like, hey, you're going to work these hours, or you have to be here at a certain time. Take a break, relax, do some meditation, and really dive deep into some self-awareness and figure out what you really want to do. So that way, when your automatic brain, your subconscious takes control, you know it's actually heading you towards, the mindset you want it to head towards too. You have to change your thoughts and your feelings, but then you also have to have the action that supports those thoughts and those feelings. It's like your thinking brain. And so you have to figure out the knowledge behind your own experiences when it comes to emotions, and then embody it all, and then turn that into action. Knowledge is for the mind, experience is for the body. So you can't expect your body to catch up to what your mind's thinking or wishing upon if your body's not reacting to it, because they work hand in hand in creating the new reality you wish to create. So you have to take knowledge and just live it. So whatever it is that you want to do, or that fascinates you, or drives you, your passion, your awe experience, find what that is and then take action towards it. Because the universe, your consciousness, your subconsciousness is going to direct you into that flow state and get you right where you need to be when those things line up. So to summarize this podcast today, it's thinking, doing, then being. You have to stop being the old you. You have to consciously observe your old self. And then when you do that, that is the first step to being self-aware. And once you create this new self-awareness, from there you're able to work and then pivot yourself forward to the next level. Well, that's all I have for today. I thank you all for listening. Stay blessed. And if you have some time, please subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll tune in until next time. I love you all. Peace out.